to appear. Impose a bond of $200 in the justice court cases. It will be cash or secured. I'm going to appoint you an attorney, sir. It's going to be Doug Taylor. Conditions if you post the bond or if you're released include do not return to the incident locations, the businesses of the theft or shoplifting. Your next court date's actually going to be Monday, June 2nd at 1 p.m. You'll be seen by video if you're still in custody. Mr. Taylor will be there. You'll see a judge then. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Harper?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
One company called me back. That's the very first company. Yeah, we didn't go in base with them. They just asked, what are we sending, blah, blah, blah. He said that we would, I told them it's just appliances. How heavy? And I said, I don't know how heavy, but it's brand new stuff. He do we need to pack? I said, no, it's packed up. It's just, and I just told him one of everything. And he said that would be a 20-ton, no sé qué. I'm going to check how big it is. And that's between 7,000 to 9,000. I said, that's way over what we were expecting. I said, but thanks for your time. He said that if we ship it now, we'll save 15% because once somebody gets it's more expensive for whatever reason.
Oh, that's tight.
But I'm still waiting to get.
That was the best attention. Okay.
While you're in a class, I'm gonna send you to places.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Because it's probably cheaper for me.
I like somebody. Please help me.
So you'll get a U-Haul and take it.
Sir, can I get your full name, please?
Savigny Avila.
If not,
middle name, Phil Bain?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And is there an attorney there?
The stuff here is, I was checking La Curacao. And,
No?
Oh, Your Honor, I'll look for that. It's all good. It's shipping this is a no, Your Honor.
TCO for $400.
I don't need one, ma'am.
In Curacao. Just check your prices. But yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you, madam.
Well, good, because I think we have a limited time that we could return it. So the sooner we find out, the better.
So,
How are you doing, Judge?
Doing all right, sir. How are you? It's Friday.
I'm all right. Trying to, get to a better place for all of us. What you doing tonight? You going out? In the town? I'm going out.
Sounds like
me and my boy. Yeah, we're gonna make a nice little spread, Just kidding, I don't even got no suit. All right.
Thanks for your patience, sir. We're just waiting for the attorney.
All right, you want to chop it up while we wait?
Oh, there she is.
Okay. What's up? Cool. More charges, right?
Good morning.
That's fine.
All right, Mr. Avila, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of a fugitive warrant from Santa Monica, California. The charges are for 2 counts of robbery and felony theft of a vehicle.
Ooh, that sounds bad.
And I do see that you are held in custody on local charges in Pima County Superior Court, and you have some bonds on those as well. I'm not seeing you on that today. I'm just seeing you on the Santa Monica warrant. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney at all proceedings. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting release conditions for you on the Santa Monica fugitive case. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The warrant amount from Santa Monica is $100,000. $100,000. That is the state's written recommendation as well. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Usanova?
No, Your Honor. Tell her I'm getting out.
All right, thank you.
We're going home. We're going home, Judge.
I will honor the amount of the Santa Monica warrant, which is $100,000. It will be cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed, no contact with the alleged victim. Sir, I'll set you a hearing next week, June 4th at 2:30 p.m. We'll be at the Superior Courthouse regarding the fugitive warrant review.
I probably won't be there.
Well, if you're in custody, you probably will be there.
I'm gonna Jesus my way out of this shit.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, he's mad. Ooh, he's the draw.
But that's not zero. That's not orange. It's all good.
Good morning, Isra.
Hey, Neil.
Censor. Your Honor?
Yes, good morning. Thank you. All right, can I have your full name, sir?
Peter David Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. Burrell. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge for possession of a narcotic drug for sale, which is a felony. The offense date is August 20th of 24. And I do know you're held in custody on other charges right now. I believe the other charges are dated from May of this year, just a couple days ago. So this predates that. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney, appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions on this new case. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. Mr. Poston, I think your written recommendation is a no bond request, but this case
And I just caught that, Your Honor. Thank you for clarifying. Looking at Mr. Burrell's interim complaint, pretrial with PTS with steps.
Okay, even though the charge is possession for sale?
You're right. $5,000 plus release to pretrial if posted.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Sanova?
Judge, given that he's currently held on a $10,000 bond for his other case, I am requesting a low bond for this one.
All right, thank you. I'll impose a bond of $2,000. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial if the bond is posted. Conditions of any release would include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed, do not return to the incident location. So your next court date is a preliminary hearing on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Burrell?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Some information, this case is 2000. On your other case,
It's 10 years. Look at this. What's that?
you have another case that you're already held on.
That's who's the same one.
This is a different case. So, I'm sorry, Judge. May I have a moment? There's a confusion on
No problem.
this part. This case is from August 12th. This is received today. The other case, yeah, this one's from 2024. You've already been filed on the recent case. So they have not mentioned on the case, okay?
So you're down to
Two cases. Yeah. I'm sorry.
that's an all.
Serving older case. Okay, you'll get the same. Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
No problem.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Brianna Monique McKnight.
Thank you, Ms. McKnight. This is the time set for your review hearing. I'm seeing you on the warrant from Maricopa County Superior Court on narcotic drugs and paraphernalia. I believe you're still pending a jail sentence from Superior Court locally. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I'm finished and I served a year here and I currently stay out here. My IPS officer was supposed to somehow contact somebody to see if I can get released on that, so that way I can take care of everything down here because I got 5 years IPS. So
Okay, and you finished the 1 year?
Yeah, that ended yesterday. So we were wondering if we can get me released on this, and then they'll take me down there to Maricopa to take care of my warrant, because I've been in here this long, and I'm on supervised IPS already. I just have to report to him.
Your probation officer is saying they will transport you down or to Phoenix to take care of this?
Yes.
Okay, hold on just one moment.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, ma'am, since you just finished yesterday, that means the jail would have contacted Maricopa County Sheriff's Department to see what they're going to be doing, if they'll come pick you up on your warrant here. Otherwise, the probation department can also coordinate with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department about them transporting you up there to figure this out. So I'm going to set a review hearing in a month, June 30th at 9 a.m. If Maricopa County picks you up, they'll definitely pick you up within the next week or two. Okay?
And do I still have a bond currently?
I think it's $500.
Can you make sure of that? Because I thought I had. Is it from the out of county warrant? I'm sorry. That's my only thing I have pending, correct? Just out there.
Yes, I'm seeing 2 CR numbers, and I don't know if they're both out of Maricopa County. If that's the case, then it might be 1,000, because it says 500 and 500.
But if I were able to post bond right now, I can get released from here, correct?
Yeah. Then you would just go, or have your PO help you go over there to take care of it. Yes.
So there's no way for you to release me on that now, since I served a year here and I'll be supervised?
I'm not releasing you today, ma'am, because that's the bond that's already been set. I believe that might be the bond on the original warrant, and we're supposed to honor the out-of-county warrant amounts.
Okay, so how long do I have for them to pick me up?
It should be in the next week or two if that's their plan to pick you up. If not, then the hold pretty much goes away. But they should pick you up once everything locally is figured out, which you said yesterday was the last day. So.
Right. So
they don't pick their money. Release what they do for their congregation. Okay.
Sorry, but that's the only thing, right? I'm eligible for there's not a hold where I can't bond out, right?
Right, no, you can bond out. You can bond out, yes.
Okay, thank you. Can you make sure this, because you said there was 2.
The judge is looking at it. They're probably the same.
Just to make sure, because
to look at it.
No. Can you tell me what it says? Because when my family members look it up, it doesn't. McKnight, MCK, NIGHT. MCK.
It shows a total of 1,000. Actually, each of them is 500. Okay.
Just registered. That's it.
It's okay. It shows as a total.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay. That's it.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Humberto Carlos Monge.
Thank you, Mr. Monge. I'm seeing today for a review hearing for a warrant out of Cochise County Superior Court for possession of a weapon by a primitive possessor. And also looks like you have local charges. You have a case management conference coming up June 23rd in Superior Court. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So it looks like when you saw the judge for your initial appearance about a month ago, that judge held you without bond. I am going to impose a bond so that I think that's appropriate. It's going to be $2,000 cash on this out-of-county warrant. Okay. So I'm going to set a review hearing for you in about a month, June 30th at 9 a.m. to see what's going on with your local charges. Okay?
Your Honor.
All right. You're excused for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you submit that, you should read this is about your work.
Thank you.
So that kind of very good chat. Misdemeanor, go and stand up. Good, well, participants, so there.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Michael John Benitez.
Mr. Benitez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on some new misdemeanor charges out of Pima County Justice Court for domestic violence assault and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Looks like you're currently on felony probation right now. I'm not seeing you on anything on that, but that's what I see as your status right now. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I'm going to impose a bond of $250 in this case. Will be cash. If you do post that, sir, if you're released, conditions include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victim, who is Rosa Benitez. You must establish alternate residence from her. And if you are released, to contact your assigned probation officer in your felony case the first business day upon release from custody. I'll set your next court date as next Monday, June 2nd at 1 p.m. So you'll see a judge then, and your attorney, Mr. Taylor, will be there. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Benitez?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Daniel Nathan Moronic.
All right, and we have someone on the line. If you could please mute yourself until it's your turn to speak. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Marinick. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some failures to appear out of Marana City Court. It looks like you also have a new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. So failures to appear for reckless burning, prescription drugs, drug paraphernalia. Incident dates are from 2019 and March of 2025. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you. All right, due to the age of some of these offenses and due to the failures to appear, I do think a bond is appropriate. The warrant amount was $350, so I'll honor that amount. It'll be $350, cash or secured. If you do post the bond, sir, conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to any of the incident locations wherever you were arrested. Next court date will be June 2nd. That's next Monday at 12 p.m. If you're still in custody, Ms. Altschuler will be there, will be seen by video. As you can see, when you fail to appear for court, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Marinix?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Mr. Navarro?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Gabriel Angel Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. Navarro. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some misdemeanor charges out of Pima County Justice Court. 3 counts of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, as well as minor and consumption of liquor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. All right, so in this case, it looks like your father and your mother are all okay with you returning back home and having continued contact. So I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include absolutely no drugs, no alcohol, sir, not committing further acts of domestic violence. Your next court date is going to be June 9th at 10:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. When you get released from custody today, you'll get a sheet of paper with the date, time, address, and all that. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And for whatever reason, if you can't make that date, sir, you call the number on that paperwork that you're going to get when you get released and you let them know. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're excused for today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Reese? Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Yeah, it's Mateo Vicente Ruiz.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new charges out of Pima County Justice Court for domestic violence, interference in judicial proceedings, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Those are misdemeanors. I'm also seeing you on Tucson City Court case matter, probation revocation for disorderly conduct, domestic violence. It is alleged by the Tucson City Prosecutor's Office that on May 31st, 23, you were adjudicated guilty of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence, placed on unsupervised probation for 2 years. And it's also alleged that you violated probation by failing to comply with the probation agency and failed to make restitution as owed. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf on that case. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on your justice court case and the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you on your city court case. I will be setting some release conditions for you today on both cases.
Sorry, I'm having trouble saying. Let him listen into what you're saying.
All right, Ms. Jeanette Bejarano, did you want to be heard? You have to press *6 to unmute yourself. All right, can I get your name, ma'am?
My name is Jeanette Bejarano.
Okay, what did you want me to know?
I wanted to know that I don't feel safe at home with Mateo being released. I would like to see if there's a way that he can get evaluated from the CRC due to medications that he has not been taking. He has schizophrenia.
All right, thank you. And do you want further contact with him or no?
No.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to make a comment to this, or?
No, not at this time, sir. All right, so actually I'm going to change your attorney on the justice court case. I'm going to appoint Christian Salter. He helps with the behavioral health defendants. So I'll appoint Christian Salter for you on your justice court case instead. Same court date next Monday at 1 p.m. I'm going to pose a bond of $250 cash on your new case. If you do post it or if you are released, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Bejarano. Do not try to go find her or anything like that. It looks like you do have an active order of protection from the Pascuayaki Tribal Court. So all terms of whatever that is. And then to your Tucson City Court case, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I will impose a bond of $500 on that one. It'll also be cash. And that's also with mental health court with Judge Blue. If you do post it, or if you're released, conditions would include no drugs, no alcohol, no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victims. Next court date for the Tucson City Court case is going to be June 9th at 1:45 p.m. All right, so as you can see, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, all right?
Okay, so I am being released, correct? And these are just court dates that are going through?
You're going to you have the $250 and then the $500. If you pay the bond, yes, you get released.
Yeah, so it's total of $750, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and can I pay that all in total, or does it have to be two separate payments?
You have to talk to Jay about that. I think you can pay once.
Yeah, one sorry. Again, I'm having trouble seeing. It's not that I'm looking at you in a certain nature,
okay.
but
You're fine.
okay, thank you.
All right, good luck there.
Thank you. I can.
Yeah. Mr. Torres?
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Torres?
Thank you. Is it middle name is Judas?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Torres, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new misdemeanor charge of interference with judicial proceedings for violating an active order of protection. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. If I release you today, sir, do you have somewhere you can go?
Yes.
Where would you go?
I'm going to try to go to the court and appeal the, with this, give me the case number, the paper, and after the friend, let me stay at his house.
At whose house?
At my friend's house.
Where's your friend's house?
It's close by my dad's office on 22nd.
Okay, in Tucson and local?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, absolutely no contact with Ms. Tanya Gutierrez. You have an active order of protection that she has against you with her as the protected person, so absolutely no contact. Don't try to go find her or anything like that.
Okay.
Next court date, sir, is June 9th at 10:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. When you get released today from jail, you get a sheet of paper with all the information on there. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And for whatever reason, if you can't make that court date, you call them and you let them know. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're excused for today, Mr. Torres.
Mr. Marquis? Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Sorry, Joaquin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Joaquin. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on failure to appear at a Tucson City Court for theft or shoplifting and drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Looks like the offense date was from April, just about a month ago this year. So if I release you today, do you have somewhere you can go? You have stable housing?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, where would you go?
To one of my friend's house. Basically, it's like a family friend.
Okay, where do they live? Do you know, like the cross streets?
It's in San Javier.
In San Javier?
Yeah.
All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to the instant location of the shoplifting, 1025 East Ajo. Your next court date at the Tucson City Court is going to be July 1st at at 2 p.m. When you get released from jail today, you'll get all the information. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, as you can see. For whatever reason, if you can't make that court date, you call them and you let them know to reschedule your court date, okay? Great. You're excused for today, Mr. Tracy. Thank you. Oh, wait. That was
Sorry.
Sorry, at the jail, can we get Mr. Joaquin back, please?
Hello, Joaquin back. Yes.
You want me to sit back over there?
Joaquin, turn up back.
Hello, Mr. Joaquin. My apologies. My paperwork was a little mixed up, so let me start all over. I've seen you today on initial appearance for assault, obstruction, disorderly conduct, criminal damage, disorderly conduct, domestic violence. These are also failures to appear. These are also misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court. All right. Okay, looks like your last court date was June 2024 that you missed.
Yeah.
And you also missed a date in May of 24, and some of these date back to 2022. Okay. So, unfortunately, given the different circumstances than what I thought your situation was, I am going to pose a bond. Okay? So it's going to be $200. All right, that's the amount on the warrant is $200. Cash or secured. If you do post it or if you're released, no contact with any victims. Don't try to go find them or anything like that. I'll appoint you an attorney, Tucson City Public Defender's Office. Next court date is actually next week, June 6th at 1:45 p.m. So you'll see a judge next week, and you'll have an attorney there. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Voters.
All right. Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Jocelyn Marie Torres.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some misdemeanor charge, assault, domestic violence out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. If I release you today, Ms. Torres, do you have somewhere you can go that is not with Jenna Nuremberg?
Yes.
Where would you go?
My friend's house, which would be, would I be able to go to the same apartment complex, or would I have to go to a different apartment complex?
Just a different residence than Ms. Nuremberg.
Okay, yes.
The same apartment, a different unit?
Yes.
All right, I will release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Jenna Nuremberg. You must establish an alternate residence. If you still have property at that shared residence, you can return one time with law enforcement escort to get your things out. Your next court date will be July 7th at 9:30 a.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. When you get released from jail today, you'll get a piece of paper with all the information, the date, time, address. For whatever reason, if you can't make that date, you call the phone number on there and let them know so you can reschedule your court date. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that July 7th date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. So it's in your best interest to show up to court and get this taken care of. You understand all that, Ms. Torres?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'll enter not guilty, please, on your behalf. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Mr. Tracy.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
George Island Tracy back.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear for shoplifting and drug paraphernalia, which are misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, do you have somewhere you can go? Do you have some stable housing?
Yeah.
Where would you go, sir?
My girlfriend's.
Where's that?
Fuego.
Okay. I'm going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Do not return to the incident location of the shoplifting, the 1025 East Ajo. Your next court date will be July 1st at 2 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. You get released from jail today, so you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. For whatever reason, if you can't make that court date, you call them and let them know. Otherwise, as you can see, when you fail to appear, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Tracy?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, Your Honor, just wanted to let the court be aware that Mr. Tracy does have a superior court.
Thank you. Let me just check what that is. Okay, looks like you missed a CMC with Judge Miller in Superior Court earlier this month. You haven't seen her yet, so you'll be seen in Superior Court on that failure to appear if you haven't done so already. I'm still releasing you on this case, sir, but it looks like, as the jail said, you have a Superior Court holding, you have a bond on that one. I will appoint you an attorney on this case, the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. The court date will get pushed back to July 18th. They pushed that back just to see what's going on with the felony case. All right. Thank you. You're excused for today.
All right, thank you.
Como le dije, Mr. Mace. I know I have mace all over my house. Sorry.
All right, good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Carla Gutierrez.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. Is your middle name also, is it Refugio?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'm seeing today on some new misdemeanor charges from Tucson City Court for assault, disorderly conduct, interference by using a telephone during an emergency, all alleged to be domestic violence. I'm also seeing that you are pending city court charges right now. It's sort of consolidating this new case with the old case. I'll vacate your June 2nd hearing date. So everything is consolidated.
Never let me talk. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't understand. But I want to let you know, ma'am, that everything is, I was at work. I worked there.
All right, hold
My
on.
son.
Hold on. Let me say my things and then I'll let you speak at the end here, okay?
No sé qué pasó. What?
Let me say my things first. Let me say my things first and then I'll let you speak, okay? Hold on. Let me say my things first.
I didn't do that.
Okay, hold on. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you, so you're going to have an attorney.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. We're not saying that you did any of these things, but they are charges, okay? All right. And because you had other cases pending, we're consolidating, so everything is going to be one court date, all right? Everything is consolidated.
Okay. Okay. My Lord, okay, thank you. But all that is a lie, so I have proof. That's okay.
All right, ma'am. Hold on.
Yes.
Ms. Gutierrez. Were you living with your son previously?
But that was a long time ago. Like I said, I was at work when he was.
You don't live with Jorge?
No, he went. I worked there. He went to my job and he attacked me. Now, this is all a lie. That's why nobody understands what I'm saying. But no.
Okay, hold on. All right. So where do you live right now?
Where he went to my work, that's where I live. That's
where do you live?
Where do you live?
Where do you live?
1150 East Everton. 11 now. I just barely moved into.
Okay. You live by yourself?
No, I take care of the owner of the house, the apartment there. I take care of her. Her mother, but I do everything. I do caregiving, caregiving. You know, I clean, cook, wash, give her medication, make sure she takes a shower, wash her clothes. I do everything.
So you live with, you're a caregiver for someone, and you live with that person.
Yes, yes. And my son went over there and attacked me because he wants to check, and I told the officer that he was attacking me, and he said he was supposed to have contact with me, and he doesn't listen because he wants his check because I'm his representative payee. He gets a disability check and they give it to me, but if I give it to him, he'll use it all in drugs. And he's giving money to scammers on the phone, women that ask him for money, and he gets angry with me and he attacks me. And I told the officers, my son is attacking me, he has schizophrenia.
Okay.
The other day,
hold on, ma'am.
I was taking care of, she got really scared.
Hold on. I don't need to know all this because you might incriminate yourself. I don't want you to do that.
I don't know what to say, it's the truth.
On this case, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. You're telling me you have stable housing, and I believe you. Okay, no contact with your son.
Yes, no contact. I know. I don't want to. He's sick.
Okay, don't go to his house. Don't try to go find him. If he comes over to your house, you call the police. You let them know that you don't want him around.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and you already have an attorney, the Tucson City Public Defender. Your next court date's going to be July 21st at 9 a.m.
Okay, I thought it was June. But my lawyer told me June.
It's going to be changed because everything is consolidated. We just put everything together. Okay, so no more June 2nd. It's going to be July 21st. When you get released from jail today, you'll get a sheet of paper with a new date of July 21st.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Conditions include no acts of domestic violence and no contact with Mr. Jorge. Right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're excused for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great night. Thank you. A great day.
Well,
Morning, sir. Can I have your full name, please?
William Robert Bowling.
Thank you, Mr. Bowling. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of possession of drug paraphernalia and a failure to appear at a Pima County Justice Court for trespass. The offense date is from October 22. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Looks like on your felony case, sir, the state is dismissing without prejudice. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. So I will grant the state's request on the felony charge of paraphernalia, sir. I am going to dismiss that without prejudice. All right. You do have a misdemeanor, though, failure to appear. If I release you today, sir, do you have somewhere you can go? Do you have some stable housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Where would you go, sir? You have a motorhome? Okay.
Yeah.
You got a Miracle Mile?
No, the Miracle Mile is my last address. That was rehab.
Okay. Where's your motorhome? Where do you park?
It's parked out somewhere in the casino area out there in the desert.
Okay. All right, I am going to release you on this case, the misdemeanor for trespass, on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not have contact with the alleged victim of the trespass, wherever that is. Looks like it says trespassing on state land, so it's just private property.
Oh, that's, yeah.
All right. Next court date is going to be June 20th at 9:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. These are old charges, sir, so just make sure you show up so you can get this taken care of. Otherwise, another warrant can issue. When you get released from jail today, sir, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information.
Okay.
All right? You're excused for today. Thank you.
He's going to send up.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Ryan Bowers.
Middle name, Seth?
Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Bowers. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new felony charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument. It's a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. We have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $15,000 bond. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
Your Honor, this involves a robbery and strike that. Your Honor, this is a situation where he unprovokedly pointed a firearm at the victim, and it appears to be entirely unprovoked, and it looks to be in the course of an assault. Your Honor, this person has demonstrated that he is a risk to the community. He is an NVCA, yes, and this could have ended badly had the trigger been pulled. Your Honor, the state requests a $15,000 bail on the basis of his flight risk and his propensity for new crimes.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Zanova?
Your Honor, I read the interim complaint several times. It's a bit of a head scratcher. I'd like to request that the court consider releasing Mr. Bowers to the supervision of pretrial services or a low bond. He's 23. He has no prior felony history. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He has available residence verified by his mother. This does involve pointing a gun, but I really cannot parse out what really happened. There's no indication that he was involved in the assault of the other three suspects that happened. There's simply no connection stated between him and those individuals. And so I'm asking that the court consider that he was not, or that there's no evidence at this point that he was involved in the robbery. And I'm requesting release to pretrial services given the lack of history.
All right, thank you. I do see that there's some admissions in the interim complaint of pointing the firearm at the victim, and that there's information that there was a video surveillance of pointing the gun in a certain direction. I do think there's probable cause at this juncture to move forward. Firearm was recovered. Due to the allegations in the interim and the use of a firearm, alleged use of a firearm, I do think a bond is appropriate. I will impose a bond of that $15,000. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions of release would include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed, no contact with the alleged victim, don't try to go find them. Also, no return to the incident location, which is a Circle K. So your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, and that date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. Understand all that, Mr. Bowers?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Still 15%. If you work with the bonds agency, okay, and talk to your attorney, this would be not modified there.
Mr. Corral. Corral. Corral.
¿Te quedó eso? ¿Hola?
Let's go.
¿Vamos? ¿No? Corral. Corral.
Yes, that's fine. Hi there, owner. Yeah? That's it. He's currently different. We're on participants.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Oh, second row?
Middle name is Miguel.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for an out-of-county warrant from Cochise County, possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm not seeing you on this, but looks like you do have a probation violation warrant out of Pinal County Superior Court as well. Looks like you have an adult probation hold. I'm seeing on new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs, dangerous drugs, and drug paraphernalia, and a misdemeanor for obstruction, refusal to provide a true name. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Let's just get backtrack. The probation violation is from that Pinal County. But I'm not seeing you on that today. I'm seeing you on this Cochise County warrant and some new felony charges. All right, I've got to set some release conditions for you, sir, on both of these. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. I will note on the felony charges, I did not find probable cause. It seems pretty, how would you say, there's no narco testing, there's no, my training experience or anything like that. So I did not find probable cause for the drug charges. Mr. Poston, does the state want to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor. It is what it is.
Okay, so for the new felony charges, I will dismiss without prejudice. On the out-of-county warrant, the state want to be heard on the out-of-county warrant?
Your Honor, state asks that the court honor the warrant terms.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Sonova, do you want to be heard on the out-of-county warrant?
Judge, only to the extent that it appears to be for simple drug possession from 2023, and then his only other prior is actually the probation case that he's currently held on from Pinal County, which is also for drug possession. So I'm asking for a low bond. He's being held without bond for the probation case at this point.
All right, thank you. I'll impose a bond of $2,000 on the Cochise County warrant. Looks like you've been seen previously on this, transferred to demanding jurisdiction, warrant quashed, but then failed to appear for court again. So I do think a bond is appropriate there. $2,000 cash, and then set a review hearing for you June 30th at 9 a.m. So that, sir, is a status conference here just to see what's going on. It may be that Cochise County picked you up before that, or Pinal County may have picked you up before that. All right. You're excused for today. Thank you.
That's your question. Why so? I see your attorney because they're supposed to come take it and then we'll need them to. And it's like, oh my God, this is only a review hearing. Well, not really, because we're held without bond on your Pinal probation. It's the 2020 case. So you have the church bond, which you also hold. You got two things. Okay. Right, here you go.
Yes.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Carlos Diaz Rocha.
Is your middle name Abraham?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Diaz-Roca, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for drug paraphernalia, and you have a failure to appear out of Tucson City Court for theft of drug paraphernalia. I'll be setting release conditions for you on all of these. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'll be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your new felony case. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, state's written recommendation is released to pretrial and screened for steps. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, my apologies. This is another one that the court believed there was no probable cause as...
I agree, Judge. That's what I was going to bring up. There's no actual drugs or paraphernalia that's identified.
Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further on the PC?
No, Your Honor, there's nothing I can do with what we have.
Okay. So on the new felony charges, sir, I'm going to dismiss that without prejudice. All right, on your Tucson City Court case matter, if I release you today, do you have some stable housing, somewhere you can go? Where would you go, sir?
My mom's house, mother's house.
Where is that?
1240 East Gamey Road.
That's in Tucson?
Yes.
All right, so I will release you on your Tucson City Court case on your own promise to appear. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Do not return to the instant location, the business of wherever the shoplifting allegedly occurred. Your next court date is going to be July 1st at 9:30 a.m. at the Tucson City Court. When you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue, like you see, for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. Just one moment. Yes. Oh, he's already seen. Nice. All right, sorry. My apologies, sir. Thank you for your patience. So the pretrial services report indicated there was a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court, but we're not finding it. So I'm just seeing you today on the Tucson City Court and dismissing the felony case today. All right. Thank you. Excuse for today, sir.
Take your time. Espinosa.
Oh. All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Antonio Alvarado Escobosa.
Are you senior?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Escobosa, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges of possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is released to pretrial and screened for steps. Is that correct, Mr. Poston?
It is.
Thank you. Mrs. Sonova?
That sounds good, Judge.
Mr. Escobosa, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a drug treatment, substance abuse treatment program, diversion program. Would you be interested?
Yes.
All right. So that program, sir, is called STEPS. They do a screening to see if you qualify. I will set you a STEPS hearing next week, next Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. All right, that's at the Superior Courthouse on the 3rd floor. You show up, you find out if you qualify for the program. If you qualify, you participate, you complete it successfully, they dismiss the felony charges. If you don't show up, you don't keep in contact, then you basically get disqualified from the program. So it's very important you show up so you find out if you qualify for that program. Ms. Usanova, also waive time for the preliminary hearing date.
Yes, please, Judge.
Okay, thank you. So, sir, I'm going to release you today to pretrial services. So you're getting out of jail today. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, and you keep in contact with them as often as they ask you to. So the next court date is next Friday at Superior Court for that STEPS hearing to see if you qualify for that diversion program. And then the preliminary hearing date is pushed back to July 14th at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Escobosa?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gallardo?
Morning, this is good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Monica Loya Gallardo?
And middle name Loya?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gallardo, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charges for organized retail theft and aggravated shoplifting, which are felonies. Also criminal trespass, which is a misdemeanor. I'm seeing you on felonies and the misdemeanor out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney, appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your felony case. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state is requesting a no bond hearing. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
It is.
Thank you. Mrs. Sonova, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Except that perhaps if Mr. Poston is open to setting a bond at this point, in my experience with this level of felony, no bond hearings rarely take place and it just turns into argument and bond. So if we want to save some time, we might as well set a bond now. But obviously the state has the authority to request a no bond hearing.
Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, not with a 6 out of 6 twice over.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Ms. Gallardo, the Arizona Constitution indicates that when someone is pending, they're on pretrial release and they are pending a felony case, they get arrested on a new felony case, the state can request a no bond hearing. So I will set a no bond hearing for you next week, June 4th at 2:30 p.m. at the Superior Courthouse on the 3rd floor. At that point, the state will decide whether to present evidence with an officer to hold you without bond or whether to argue for bond. Also set a preliminary hearing date on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. And then on your justice court case, ma'am, that one I will release you on your own promise to appear. Conditions of that misdemeanor case would include no contact with the alleged victim, which is Walmart, which you have been trespassed from. Next court date is June 9th at 8:30 a.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video. If you've been released by then, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. When you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Ms. Gallardo?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're excused for today.
So it's on down to we're gonna have hearing on June 4th. And it's likely to get a bond at that time. Yeah, we're being over the phone to June 5. We're going to see the church on 30 with an attorney, okay?
Gonzalez?
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Elizabeth Gonzalez.
Ms. Gonzalez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. Also seeing you on some misdemeanor charges out of Tucson City Court for criminal damage, disorderly conduct, 2 counts each, alleged to be domestic violence out of Those are misdemeanors. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For your felony case, I'll appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is release to pretrial screen for steps. Is that correct, Mr. Poston?
It is.
Thank you. Ms. Sonova?
Sounds good, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Gonzalez, the state is saying for your drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program for substance abuse treatment. Would you be interested?
Yes.
All right. So that treatment program is called STEPS. I'll set you a STEPS hearing next week, June 6th at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court on the 3rd floor. Also going to release you to pretrial services, so you'll get out of jail today. So when you show up to court next Friday, you'll find out if you qualify for that program. They do a screening. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you, so it's very important you show up. If you show up, you qualify, you complete the program successfully, they will dismiss the felony charges. Conditions of your release to pretrial include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office if I haven't said so already. Your next court day after that will be the preliminary hearing. Mrs. Sonova, waive time for the preliminary hearing date.
Yes, please, Judge.
Preliminary hearing date will be July 14th, 1:30 p.m. All right, and for your Tucson City Court case, ma'am, do you live separately from Marcelo Verdugo?
Yes.
Any children together?
No.
All right, for your Tucson City Court case, I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Marcelo Verdugo, don't try to go find him or anything like that. Your next court date will be July 8th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. So it's in your best interest to show up to court and get this taken care of. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. When you get out of custody today, you'll get 2 sheets of paper. One will be about the felony case and the steps hearing date next week, and one will be at your city court case in July. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Really important to show it to this hearing, okay? Because you may get diversion. Maybe this is really soon. Okay, this is for the yeah, I can get a diversion. You can get a diversion, I suppose. Diversion, so make sure you show consent first. Yes. And that's your nice timing. I'm just getting this to you again.
Esperanza.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Esperanza.
Middle name is Everardo?
Yeah.
And are you a junior?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, sir. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on several matters today. You have a post-indictment from Pima County Superior Court, CR 2025-2128 for possession of narcotic drugs and aggravated driving under the influence. You also have new felony charges for organized retail theft, resisting arrest, possession of weapon by possession of a defaced weapon, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misdemeanor shoplifting, 3 counts. Those are from Pima County Justice Court. And then you have some failures to appear at a Tucson City Court for domestic violence assault, disorderly conduct, being in the park after hours, theft, and other assaults. I'll be sending release conditions for all of these. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On the felony cases, I'll appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. On your felony cases, I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation on the post indictment is a $1,500 bond, which is the amount on the warrant, and on the new charges is $7,500. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
Just to be certain the court understands, the state is asking for these consecutive because they are in different procedural postures. This was a sawed-off rifle, both the barrel and the stock. This could have done some serious damage to somebody, and we're looking at a not insignificant series of offenses.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Sonova?
Judge, I'm asking that the court take a look at the aggravated DUI, the indicted case, and the fact that it was a refile, and so I'm asking that the court not hold it against him, the failure to appear. That's very common. It was refiled almost a year later, and so that happens a lot with cases that come back. Aside from that, I'm asking the court take into account also that Mr. Moranza appears to have gotten probation for his 2021 case, and even though it was terminated unsuccessfully, it doesn't show that there were probation violations. So between these two, I'm asking that the court consider lower bonds for these two cases. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mrs. Sonova, if you could confirm, please, with Mr. Moranza, the summons was sent to a 5842 South Aldorn Drive, if that was a good address.
That may be a relative's home, Judge, but we don't have an indication that he resided there at the time.
Okay, thank you. All right, on the post-indictment matter, which is the CR 2025-2128, I'll impose a bond of $1,500, cash or secured. Released to pretrial if posted. Next court date for that will be next week, June 5th at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment at the courthouse, Superior Courthouse on the 3rd floor. Conditions would include: do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. On the new felony charges, impose a bond of $3,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Same conditions of release, except also no contact with any alleged business victims of the organized retail theft. Next court date for that is a preliminary hearing on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. For the Justice Court case, the thefts, those I will release Mr. Moranza on his own promise to appear for his next court date. Court date is June 9th at 8:30 a.m. Conditions of release would be: do not return to the incident location of the business, no contact with that alleged business victim. For your Tucson City Court case, I'm going to appoint Scott Redmond. I believe he was previously appointed. I'm going to impose a bond of $200. Be cash or secured. Conditions of release, if you're released on the Tucson City Court case, would include no contact with alleged victims, don't return to incident locations, not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Next court date for Tucson City is going to be June 6th at 1:45 p.m. That's also next week. So as you can see, when you fail to appear for court, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that? All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
There's the information is okay for the two buildings, and so one of them stairs, the other one's to the right of the stairs.
Ms. Martin?
Oh. Good morning. Can I get your full name, please? Thank you, Ms. Parley. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on the post-indictment matter for Pima County Superior Court for 3 counts of aggravated driving under the influence, endangerment, and child abuse, which are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney and appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, Ms. Parley. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is $5,000, which is the amount on the warrant. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I'm requesting release to pretrial services. The date of offenses here is in June of last year, and the summons was refiled almost a year later. And again, it's one of those situations where people often don't get the summons. If she were to appear on her own at an initial appearance and arraignment, this is the kind of case that she would be released to pretrial services. That I'm asking that the court consider that she's lifelong resident of Tucson and has a family with 2 children, and given the support that she has in the community and likely responsibilities and the situation with the summons and the nature of the case being from a year ago, I'm asking the court release her to pretrial services.
Thank you. Mrs. Sodova, if you could please address with Ms. Parley the initials DW, if that's a child of hers, if it's a family member.
That appears to be one of her children.
Or the T on Agave that the summons was returned mail, so Ms. Parley never had actual notice of the court date. So I release Ms. Parley to pretrial services. Conditions include: do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. And I don't know if DCS or Department of Child Safety was involved, but if they were, any terms that they have imposed. All right, your next court date, ma'am, will be June 5th at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment. You'll actually see me next Thursday. It's on the 3rd floor of the Superior Courthouse downtown. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Understand all that, Ms. Parley?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
And these 2 have to report to pretrial and show up to this, okay? Make sure to do this, and you can stay on and figure out this, okay? Good luck.
Mr. Rice?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Mr. John Rice II.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges: aggravated assault with deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, 2 counts, possession of weapon by prohibited possessor, possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, discharging a firearm in city limits. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney, appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation on the drug charges appears to be released to pretrial screen for steps, and $60,000 on the other charges. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
It is, Your Honor. This involves not only a collision, there's also gunfire. There's a yes on the NVCA flag and a 6 and a 5 out of 6. This person presents a risk to the community, hence the bond recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Poston, I know we don't screen right now, but in terms of the other charges that are present, would that affect the steps screening or steps eligibility?
I can't say off the top of my head, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mrs. Sonova?
Your Honor, I'm asking the court consider that Mr. Rice is a lifelong resident of Tucson. He's has full-time employment, and from my reading of the interim complaint, there's no definite proof at this point that he is the one that shot the alleged shots. So I'm asking the court consider that as well. And pretrial identified need for substance use treatment here, so I'm asking for lower bonds.
All right, thank you. Let me just review the interim again. I do see information in the interim complaint that there was video surveillance at the casino of brandishing the firearm by the defendant, allegedly, and also that the later that the firearm was recovered. All right. Due to the alleged use of the firearm and the other information in the pretrial services report to include Mr. Rice's history with prior weapons possession, I do think a high bond is appropriate on the non-drug charges. I will impose a bond of $60,000, cash or secured, released at pretrial if posted. Conditions would include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with any alleged victims, also not return to the incident location, which is Desert Diamond Casino. On the drug charges, I'll impose a bond of $500 since Mr. Rice will be in custody on the other case. Will be cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Mr. Rice, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program. They have to do a screening for the drug case, but would you be interested if you qualified for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will set you a steps hearing next week on June 6th at 9 a.m. All right, next court date after that would be June 9th, the preliminary hearing for both cases at 1:30 p.m. So next week you'll find out if you qualify for that STEPS drug treatment program. All right. If you fail to appear for court, whether those dates I just gave you or future dates, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Understand all that, Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Thank you. You're excused for today.
Hey, Rodriguez.
Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Ana Julia Rodriguez.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for organized retail theft and aggravated shoplifting and fraudulent use of a credit card. You also have a failure to appear at a Tucson City Court for criminal damage, disorderly conduct, contributing to delinquency of a minor. Those are misdemeanors. Offense dates are from 2022. Let's talk about the felony first and then the misdemeanors. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney and appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your felony case. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, do you want to be heard further?
Further.
Thank you. And Mrs. Sonova, there appears to be a general delivery address. If you could please also address housing when you provide argument.
Address availability of housing?
Yeah.
Is that the correct? Judge, I'm requesting release to pretrial services given the lack of criminal history. Prior to this point, Ms. Rodriguez is 36 years old. It appears that she's lived most of her life in Tucson. And if I may have a moment just to touch base with her about housing. Your Honor, she reports that she's able to reside with her sister who lives here in town.
All right, thank you.
An additional mention is that the shoplifting involves allegedly $82 worth of items.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Sonova. Was there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Rodriguez, I will release you to pretrial services on the felony case. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Monitoring treatment is directed. No contact with that business, the alleged victim in the case. Don't return to that incident location. Next court date is a preliminary hearing on June 19th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And then for your city court case, ma'am, looks like you were released back on Valentine's Day this year, and then failed to appear a month later in March. So if I release you today on this one, what's going to change? Are you going to show up?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's going to change? How are you going to remember to show up this time?
Because I don't want to come back here, and I'm gonna have my sister be involved in it. She's really good at this, so she'll help me out. Show up at my court dates, you know. Sorry.
No, it's too early. Sick of campus.
All right, ma'am. I'm going to give you one more chance, okay? You're going to be released on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no contact with the alleged victims of the damage or disorderly conduct. Don't return to any incident locations. Next court date will be June 30th at 2:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. When you get released from jail today, you'll get 2 sheets of paper, one about the felony one and one about the Tucson City Court one. Keep your sister in the loop. Looks like you have some good support, so make sure she helps you out with all this stuff, okay? All right, when you fail to appear for court, as you can see, a warrant's can issue for your arrest. And like you said, you want to keep going in and out. It's not fun. Yeah. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. You're excused for today.
To give me the neutral, that's for the felony case. This is your injury with the case. This is your child. Okay, this is the investigate. Make sure she's kind of going.
Yes, and I don't.
And Mrs. Sonova, this is the one I think Mr. Sanandolo filed a notice of appearance for, who I believe he's on the line. There he is. All right. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
My full name, Matthew Rogers Sanangelo.
Thank you, Mr. Sanangelo. All right, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for aggravated driving under the influence. Also see the notice of appearance filed by Dominic Santangelo. And he is present over Teams. All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. Since you've retained counsel, I don't need to appoint you an attorney. All right, I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $15,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Your Honor, presently the defendant was stopped while speeding. Traffic stop noticed signs and symptoms of impairment, and check of motor vehicle records showed his license was canceled for a prior DUI. After the officer developed PC for arrest, we noticed that the state noticed that there's a DUI in July of 2016, and he was convicted in misdemeanor court in December of 17. There was another DUI, date of incident 4/17/2020, convicted about 16 months later. This was now up in felony court for looks like 1 count and it was bumped down to misdemeanor after 4 counts of ag DUI. Also endangerment, that looks to have been bargained away. And during the course of that, it looks like he picked up another DUI during the pendency of that case. And now we are here on his 4th DUI, Your Honor. The state's at a loss as to what it'll take to stop this person from endangering the community as passengers, and something needs to be done before he potentially kills somebody.
All right, thank you. Mr. San Angelo.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may be heard on the probable cause statement, we reviewed it as well. Simply, I'm not sure what the state is alleging he was impaired by. There's no statements of any odor of alcohol, no bloodshot, watery eyes, no slurred speech, no raised taste buds, no odor of marijuana, no HGN was performed, nor was a DRE performed. There's simply no facts to support impairment by any substance. So respectfully, our position is that there is not probable cause for a DUI in this case.
All right, thank you. Mr. Posen, do you want to be heard further on the probable cause?
Your Honor, what I said was signs and symptoms of impairment, and we only have the PC statement, and there is a pending charge, and what we're looking at is all those details will be forthcoming in any discovery once the final report is completed. That said, the state relies on its previous statements. This would be his 4th DUI, and the state's trying to keep this person from hurting himself or killing others. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, go ahead, Mr. San Angelo.
Your Honor, there is simply nothing in the probable cause statement to support that. I mean, there's some allegations of his prior criminal history and some, probable cause for something, but not for a DUI.
I do agree that the probable cause in this statement is probably not as fully developed as it potentially could have been. There's information about poor driving behavior, allegations of lying about who was the actual driver of the vehicle. There is information about a validated cue of an eye tremble during a modified Romberg test, which I know to be one of the NHTSA tests that is performed during DUI investigations. There's no information about alcohol, however.
I didn't mention alcohol. I said signs, symptoms of impairment.
Respectfully, by what, Your Honor, the eye tremble is the only DUI-related fact alleged in the probable cause statement. There's driving behavior. There's an allegation that he switched seats. I think could be easily explained by the fact that his driving privileges were revoked. He was eligible to be reinstated for those last fall. He did not complete that. I think a plausible explanation for the switching of the seats and the other allegations is that he didn't have a valid driver's license, not that he was impaired.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right. I do believe at this juncture there is sufficient circumstantial evidence to move forward. However, I do agree with defense counsel that there are some concerns in the PC statement, but there's enough at this juncture to move forward. Mr. San Angelo, did you want to be heard further on release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. Matthew San Angelo is a lifelong resident of Arizona. The state notes that he did have some prior criminal history. I think it's worth noting that he never missed a single court date. He complied with every release condition, pre-trial and post-conviction. He has family in Tucson, parents, sisters, fiance. He has a stable job. He expected to be at work today. He has work tomorrow. So he has stable employment. He's engaged, and he has pets. I think that there's sufficient motivation for him to comply with all pretrial release conditions, attend any hearings he may have. He has private counsel. I have a professional and familial duty to ensure that he complies. We respectfully ask that he be released on his own recognizance, and will comply with all future obligations he has to the court.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You'll get out of custody today. Conditions of your release would include: do not drive, of course, without a valid driver's license, absolutely no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 19th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your counsel. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, could you repeat the time of the court hearing on the 19th, please?
June 19th at 1:30 p.m. for the preliminary hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
From the state.
Thank you. All right. Your excuse, sir. Thank you, Mr. San Angelo.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Polston.
Poston. Thanks, Ron. Joshua.
Ms. Sheffield?
Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Thelma Jean Tommy Sherfield.
Thank you, Ms. Sherfield. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charge for aggravated driving under the influence. You also have a failure to appear at a Pima County Justice Court for driving under the influence misdemeanor as well. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. I'll be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your felony case. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $15,000 bond on the felony case. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Your Honor, she's got two prior DUIs. One prior DUI. She's on a 3-year failure to appear. She's been on warrants. We're looking at prior felony convictions for drugs, drug trafficking, prison contraband, theft. She's a yes on the NVCA. She's a 6 and a 4. $15,000.
Thank you. Mrs. Zanova?
Your Honor, I'm requesting release to pretrial services. I do see the prior DUI misdemeanor charge from 2022. I obviously see that resulted in a warrant, again from same year, 2022. It was 3 years ago. I'd like to point out that was not a conviction yet, even though clearly that's also possibly Ms. Sherfield's fault for not appearing, but also there does not appear to have been an arrest between 2022 and now. With respect to the felony history, it's notable that for her 2017 case, she actually completed 3 years of probation. So that was a drug case. She completed probation. She's 63 years old. I believe that shows a very, very good prospect for her being supervised successfully. And again, given that she's 63, she's lived in the community most of her life, she's retired. I believe there's a good reason to release her to pretrial services. Almost all of the felony priors appear to be drug-related and low-level, and certainly fairly old. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Sherfield, I am going to release you to pretrial services. Conditions would include: do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Contact them as often as they want you to. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 19th at 1:30 p.m. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And I do take into account what Mrs. Renova said, that even though the 2022 DUI, you got a failure to appear for that, you haven't had any law enforcement contact since then, so I am taking that into account. For your misdemeanor case, ma'am, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions again would include no driving without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol. I'll appoint you an attorney, Douglas Taylor. Your next court date will be June 9th at 8:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. So, ma'am, when you get released from jail today, you'll get 2 sheets of paper. One will be about the felony case. One will be about the misdemeanor case at a justice court. You have attorneys on both cases. They'll have phone numbers for those attorneys. You keep in contact with the attorneys. Make sure you show up to court on the dates listed there. Otherwise, another warrant will issue. You understand all that, Ms. Sherfield?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here, you have to get in touch with Central. This is their number. This is your attorney. Guns phone them. Make sure to do this court. Here's the information I missed to know. It's okay. Be careful, please. Thank you. All right, take care. Yeah, it's okay.
Mr. Soto?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Antonio Nicolai Soto.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. Also seeing you on a failure to appear at Tucson City Court for drug paraphernalia as well. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your felony case, I'll appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's requesting release to pretrial, screen for steps. Is that correct, Mr. Poston?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mrs. Sonova?
Sounds good, Judge.
Mr. Soto, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a drug treatment diversion program. Would you be interested?
Yeah.
So I will set you a STEPS hearing. STEPS is the name of that diversion program. It'll be next week, June 6th at 9 a.m. at the Superior Courthouse on the 3rd floor. You show up to that hearing next week, they tell you if you qualify, they do a screening. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you for the program, so it's very important you show up next week. I am going to release you to pretrial services on the felony case. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, and you keep in contact with them as often as they want you to. And Mrs. Hanova, waive time for the preliminary hearing date.
Yes, please, Judge.
And I'll set a preliminary hearing date on July 14th, 1:30 p.m. That's set out, sir, so that if you do qualify for that STEPS program, that you have time to complete it. All right, on your Tucson City Court case, sir, that one I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Your next court date is going to be July 1st at 9:30 a.m. So when you get released from jail today, sir, you'll get 2 sheets of paper, one about the felony case and the STEPS court date for next week, and one for the Tucson City for the July court date. So you have 2 court dates to keep track of. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Soto. Your excuse for today, sir.
Information. Keep in touch with people. That's the court order. This is your Chinese number for the felony. Really wanted to show this. If you're going to diversion, this is the way to do it. There's a screen that take this and you show them, and this is the student information.
I get Mr. Silas.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Michael Thomas Tanis, Part 3.
Thank you, Mr. Tanis. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, which is a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $10,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
Your Honor, again, this defendant is alleged to have pointed a rifle at the victim and admitted as such post Miranda. And this sort of ag assault, this person is a danger to the community if he's toting a rifle around and threatening people with it.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Sonova?
Your Honor, I'm requesting release to pretrial services. Mr. Tanis is 22 years old. He has no prior felony history. He is a lifelong resident. He has full-time employment. He did assert to the police that the alleged act was done in self-defense. So while there's an admission and a pointing of a weapon, I am asking the court take that into consideration. And even though it is a serious charge, given all the context, including the lack of history, I believe release to pretrial is appropriate.
All right, thank you. Based on the information, the interim, and the alleged use of a weapon, I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter. I will impose a bond of $10,000. Cash or secured, released to pretrial if bond is posted. So if you're released or if you post that bond, conditions would include no drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the alleged victim in this case, don't return to the incident location, the Star Motel. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
So, that means I'm being released or am I being held in?
You have a bond, $10,000 bond, cash or secured.
So would that be like 1,000 or the full 10,000?
I can talk to him about that.
Thank you.
It's secure, which means you can post 10% of the work of the loans agent, okay? Yes. But obviously the rest has to be sprinkled and report agreement. Section state more thing, you could do that. We have this situation right now, this is your attorney's. You can file a motion alongside with your attorney, this game changer, this is it right now. If you do all that, then you can go back to the okay, so that's just like or with the monthly chasing
that's not.
All right. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Well, that's the judge.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Alberto Varela.
Thank you, Mr. Varela. This is a time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for armed robbery with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a weapon by perjured possessor. Those are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney and appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, Mr. Varela. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $15,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
No, Judge. State submits a... Actually, yes, Your Honor. He is a NVCA, yes. 6 out of 5 out of 6, respectively. And this involves not only theft, but also the use of a weapon. And at this point, the state considers this person a risk to the community, and he's also got priors.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Onova?
Your Honor, I see one felony prior from 2010, and that appears to be a marijuana possession. Other than that, I do not see any felony priors. Mr. Varela is 43 years old. I read the interim complaint several times. It appears that the theft involves a Polar Pop. I cannot identify any other items that are alleged to have been stolen. And also, I do not see probable cause for the armed robbery. The statute defines armed robbery if a weapon is used, quote, in the course of committing the robbery, end of quote. In this case, the robbery was committed. Mr. Varela was seen outside sitting down with his property outside of the shop. And that's when the clerk came out, and that's when the events took place that the weapon pointing is alleged. So given this, I really don't see probable cause for the armed robbery. Clearly the pointing of the weapon itself is possibly sufficient for probable cause for the aggravated assault. But I'm asking that the court consider that this involved a clerk coming outside and confronting Mr. Varela, and also that it involves, from what I can tell, a Polar Pop. Given that he's 43 and has one prior from 2010 that is a marijuana possession, I really don't believe there is any danger to the community that I see in these allegations other than the possession of the firearm itself. The rest of this could very much be explained with the circumstances of what happened. I'm not saying there's an excuse, but the court can consider all of that in its determination of a bond. So I'm asking for a release to pretrial or a much lower bond.
Thank you. Mr. Poster, did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, it doesn't matter if he stole a Polar Pop or a $200 bottle of Patron. He was still in the court. He took the items out, and this used a weapon in the course of it. He still had property that was not his, and then he used the weapon, hence the charged offense. There's no finish line that somebody with a gun can race over and suddenly be cleared of liability for that charge. The state stands by its recommendation. This person has demonstrated that they're willing to use lethal force for allegedly a Dr. Pepper.
All right, thank you. Just reviewing the pretrial service report again, the prior appears to be for distribution or possession with intent to distribute marijuana. And it appears that the sentence was prison, so it doesn't look like it was just personal use marijuana, just to clarify that. And then as to the probable cause argument, I'm looking at the robbery statute. That's robbery if in the course of taking property of another from his person or immediate presence and against his will, such person threatens use of force with intent to coerce, surrender property, or to prevent resistance to taking of property. So despite the clerk having come outside, the display of the weapon would be the use of force to coerce, surrender of property, or prevent resistance of taking of the property. And there's also discussion, it's not clear, but there's took items plural on display for sale. The clerk was pointing towards a bag, so there may have been additional items. All right, so I do find probable cause for the armed robbery in this case. There's sufficient probable cause to move forward for all charges in the interim. Due to the serious nature of the offense, I believe a high bond is appropriate. I impose a bond of $50,000, $50,000. There'll be cash released to pretrial if posted. Do see that there's a harm to the community aspect as well. Conditions of any pretrial releaser, if you are released from pretrial, would include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons whatsoever, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the alleged victim, do not return to the incident location of the Circle K. So your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 9th at 1:30 p.m. That hearing date may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. Please, if you fail to appear for court, whether it's at June 9th date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Varela?
We want a speedy trial already? Do you want to sentence me now? Because honestly, if
Sir, you have the right to remain silent. We are being recorded right now.
I don't really care. I'm just saying, if a fucking clerk goes outside and kicks your fucking bag, what are you supposed to do?
Okay, don't cheer.
All right,
Cool.
so you're excused for today.
I mean, no, it's same thing in Pinal County. It's just the same shit, dog. Same shit.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Lacey Jean Weaver.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges for possession of dangerous drugs and possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have some failures to appear for possession of drug paraphernalia out of city court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your felony case. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is release to pretrial screen first steps. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
It is.
All right, thank you. Ms. Usanova?
Sounds good, Judge.
Ms. Weaver, I am going to release you to pretrial services on your felony case. And the state is saying you may be eligible for a drug treatment diversion program called STEPS. Would you be interested in participating?
Yes, ma'am.
So, ma'am, that that case is called STEPS. I'll set you a STEPS hearing next week, next Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court. When you show up, you'll find out if you qualify for that program. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you for the program. So it's very important you show up next Friday. I will release you pretrial services. Conditions of your release would include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, keep in contact with them as often as they would like you to. If you do qualify for that STEPS diversion program, you complete it successfully, they will dismiss the felony charges. Ms. Usanova, waive time for the preliminary hearing date.
Yes, Judge.
So I'll set a preliminary hearing date for you, ma'am, on July 14th at 1:30 p.m. It's set out far so that if you do qualify for that program, that you could have enough time to complete it. All right. As to your city court charges, ma'am, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for the next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Next court date for Tucson City is going to be July 1st. At 9 a.m. All right, so you're gonna have two court dates you gotta keep track of, the felony case with the STEPS next week, and then that July 1st date for the Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear for court, ma'am, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver. You're excused for today.
Okay, this is really to go over here. You might be able to clear the emphasis of misdemeanor. So, thank you so much, Jesse. Rachel. Keep in touch. Yeah, thank you.
And Mr. Westhofer.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Timothy Roy Westhafer.
Thank you, Mr. Westhafer. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new felony charge for trafficking in stolen property in the first degree and burglary the third degree for both felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney and appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, and the court did not find probable cause for the burglary charge. Did either side want to be heard on probable cause on the burglary charge?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and the state's written recommendation is a $2,500 bond. The state would like to be heard further on release.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I'm requesting release to pretrial services. Mr. Westhafer is a lifelong resident of Tucson. He's 43 years old. He has no felony priors. Given this and the nature of the alleged offense, I believe release to pretrial services is warranted, perhaps the enhanced pretrial. It appears that he needs some services, possibly with substance use and homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. Conditions of your release would include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Looks like it'd be on level 4 supervision, so it's a little bit more hands-on. Okay? All right, no contact with the alleged victim, sir, the owner of the bike. Don't try to go find him or anything like that. Your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 19th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's at June 19th date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Westaker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
If paperwork to keep pretrial, you can help with residents, people with this substance restriction, so that you can need it. Okay, this is your attorney's number. This is your next visit. Don't miss court. If you miss a court, you're sitting.
Yeah.
So talk to these agencies.
I'm having one by.
You can hold up. You can make anything. So it's 90% good. It's still until 5.
I believe that's everyone for this morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your days.
Thank you.